What's up, Warport family? This is C-Dub here for the post-game reaction. Disappointing finish to the game as Auburn falls to Vanderbilt 17-7. And it's pretty much the same thing we've seen all season. Good defense. Auburn holds Vanderbilt to 227 yards. A lot to like on that side of the ball, but it's been the same story all season long. Offense has not been able to score. Offense has not been able to make plays, and the opportunities were there. This was a very winnable game for Vandy to win by 2 scores after only having 227 yards of total offense. Just tells you how bad at times our offense was throughout this game. Special teams, Vandy's special teams outshine Auburn. That was another story of the game. Auburn did not enjoy really good field position in this game, and the turning point was Auburn pent deep in its own end zone or its own side of the field, backed up against its own end zone, and couldn't really do much. Vandy returns a punt in scoring position, goes up with a field goal, and Auburn couldn't overcome that. I'm going to bring in Dylan Lark here to get his thoughts. Dylan, frustrating loss. You look frustrated. More of the same that we've seen out of this team. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually just put up a tweet. I think that this loss firmly cements Hugh Freeze on the hot seat going into next season. This is a coaching disaster offensively, especially from an offensive-minded coach. You convert a third down, then you start off when you start off the fourth quarter, and then the next play after that, you decide to do a wide receiver pass with Malcolm Simmons, and you only gave him one receiver to throw it to. You put a freshman in there to make a freshman mistake. He takes a sack. Auburn has to deal with a 2nd and 20, then a 3rd and 20, and then I think a 4th and 11. Yeah, you took the run game out of the game yourself. I think overall Auburn didn't run the ball well at all.
You see a lot of Jarquez. He only had 2 carries in the second half.
Jarquez had 12 carries in this game. You let Peyton Thorne throw it 29 times. You let the running backs carry the ball 19 times. This is not what you want from your football team overall. I mean, this team worries me going into next year. Officially, this gives Hugh Freeze more losses than Brian Harsin had by the time Auburn fired him.
We got to talk about Hugh Freeze. What is he doing? I don't understand what Hugh Freeze is doing at this point. Offensively, if your best player on offense only gets 12 carries, only 2 in the second half, you convert a third down, to your point, a critical third down. You only converted 2 third downs all game. You convert your first one, and then you go trick play. I understand putting the ball in the hands of your playmakers, but asking Malcolm, trick plays have not worked all season. Why are we still calling trick plays? Why is Auburn doing that?
I guess your idea is just to maybe you've fooled them into thinking that it'll work. Best I can come up with is, you're just trying anything and everything out to get something going. I mean, I probably at this point trust Malcolm Simmons to throw a pass down the field than I do Peyton Thorne. Yeah, that was just that game's even just hard to talk about. Yet another game where Auburn can't win a football game because they can't score more than 14 points in the game, which I think Iowa averages more points per game than Auburn does offensively.
Hugh Freeze doesn't have many answers on offense. He doesn't. You begin to wonder, can this guy fix whatever problems are on offense? Does he have an answer? And it doesn't seem as though he does. Auburn only turned the ball over towards the end of the game. Like there's not many interceptions, but Peyton Thorne, 20 of 29, 239 yards passing. You would think he had an incredible game, but there are key throws, there are key moments in drives where you have to convert a third down. You have to make a throw downfield. You have to back the defense out of the box and respect the passing attack downfield. And we didn't see many of those throws in this game. So it's a lot of dink and dunk, a lot of short throws. Credit him for making those completions. Some of those throws were even the touchdown Auburn did score. That was not a good throw to Fairweather. Teams aren't really respecting Auburn's downfield attack in terms of passing. So you can squat on these. You can even give up some of those routes and just expect Auburn to make mistakes. It's I'm gonna bring Dustin on in a minute. He talks about a culture of losing. We have an offensive-minded coach who cannot fix or has yet to fix Auburn's offensive issues. Simple and plain. This was a winnable game. You can't ask DJ Durkin and those guys to do a better job than what they did. Auburn put themselves in a position defensively to win this game, and you score 7 points at home. I'm going to bring Dustin up to give his thoughts. Dustin from the Uptempo Pod.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you. I don't like to see you under these circumstances.
Yeah, that's usually how we meet, bud.
I should be used to it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know. What's up,
How you doing, man?
What's
up?
I hate to say this, but it's just the truth. I mean, it's whatever. Like, I didn't predict us to win. I'm not happy that we lost and stuff, but it wasn't nothing I didn't expect. Auburn to lose a close game at home. So yeah, we just continue to do it. I don't have a whole lot to say on this one, man. 17 points should win you games. Just holding a team to 17 points should win you games in 2024. It just continues to not. I mean, the field goal kicking, you read off Peyton Thorne's numbers. If you looked at that before the game, you'd be like, oh, okay, maybe we had an okay day. No. We try to get Jarquez established at times, and it just wasn't there. The offensive line was just losing at the point of attack to Vanderbilt's defensive line. So, yeah, man, it's it's really frustrating. I hate it for the people that continue to pay money to go to Jordan Stadium, continue to support the team, and this is the product that they continue to get. I don't. We haven't beat a Power 4 team at home since it feels like forever. I guess Mississippi State last year. So that part of it really is what is irritating is we just not protecting our home field. But the unfortunate thing is I'm not surprised. There's nothing that I saw that was any different than anything else, and it's just to be expected. I don't have much faith in what's going on anymore. Sure, the recruiting is great and all that kind of stuff, but Jimbo Fisher was a great recruiter too, and look what Mike Elko's come in there and done with a little bit of organization and competent game day coaching. So just some baffling decisions and stuff. I guess my biggest problem with today's Caesar is that it just felt kind of dead. Like the defense came out with energy. DeMarcus Reddick was flying around, Keldrick was going early. Caleb Harris and those guys, but I don't know, man. For a team that's fighting for bowl eligibility and all that kind of stuff, it just seemed like the juice wasn't there. I don't really understand that at home, but again, I'm getting used to it. And this 4 to 5 year Auburn stretch has been so pathetic that I just don't. This is what Auburn football is, man. So I don't really get that upset at it anymore. It sucks that it's there, but it's there.
I hear you. Yeah, it's these games right here that begin to really wear on a fan base that was full of hope and optimism coming into this season, as well as with this coaching hire with Hugh Freeze. I agree, Dylan. The seat only gets warmer because your issues are on the side of the ball that you have had success, you have built your name on. You are struggling putting together competent offenses. And it's not just even on one player. I know it's easy to talk about Peyton Thorne and his issues, but who puts Peyton out there? Who brought Peyton here? Who's supposed to be developing Peyton? That's still on the offensive coaching staff. Go ahead, Dylan.
So who didn't go get Cam Ward?
So it's on this coaching staff to fix its issues, and even game day decisions. It leaves you scratching your head. To your point, Dustin, you're bringing in talent. Granted, none of those kids have signed on the dotted line yet for this upcoming recruiting class. But if you're mismanaging some of your talent now, what gives us confidence moving forward that you know how to manage what we will believe to be a better roster? Let's get to some of you guys' comments. Y'all have a lot to say, and we're going to give each and every one of you an opportunity to say, especially those of you who've been super chatting us, as well as those are commenting. We appreciate you being here. The comments are flying. Can't get to them all, but we'll try to get to the super chats. Exclusive TV, you've been a member for 15 months. We appreciate you and salute you. It says Peyton Thorne is the worst QB on earth, period. I don't know about the worst QB. I've seen some pretty bad QBs. There's one down in Tallahassee right now who would have a say in this conversation.
I don't know.
Peyton Thorne has definitely had his share of deficiencies, and it's tough to win when you cannot consistently throw the ball downfield and keep defenses honest.
Honestly,
Mojo Nixon with the $5 super.
I went through every starting Auburn quarterback throughout my consciousness as an Auburn fan, because I didn't count Jason Campbell because I never get to really watch him. But out of all of the 15, 16 quarterbacks that I've watched throughout the years, which is a lot, Peyton Thorne might be. He's either the bottom of the list or he is right up there next to TJ Finley down there.
Yeah. Mojo Nixon loves fried chicken. He says we are down 2 scores and Freeze runs out. Miss it, Mago. Literally the worst kicker in the nation per NCAA stats for a long field goal. I was like, why don't you just punt the ball if you're not going to go for it? Just punt. Just punt. At least give them worse field position. Just punt the football. But yeah. Danny Fuego with the $5.49 super chat says, well, it's official. We have been replaced as the new Vandy. It hurts knowing where this team has been and its pedigree to where it is right now. Shaking my head. G. Hargrove says, fire Freeze and promote Durkin to head coach. No use of having an offensive-minded head coach if the offense continually sucks. Chriso says, I just don't know how Peyton can play this bad and the coaches be okay with it. It is too late. Is it too late to call Gus? Yes, it is, to answer that question. Hell, I wouldn't be mad if Tommy T coming back. It's no excuse for what we've seen this year. I have to agree with that last statement. I don't know how you explain the product in year 2. It's inexplicable. It's inexplicable. I don't know if you guys had anything to say on that. We can move on if you.
No, I mean, my thing is it's like, I'm going to keep going back to this. If you go back to the beginning of the season, the expectations were very realistic. I mean, everybody that's reasonable that I saw was saying if Auburn goes 7-5, it'll be a step in the right direction. We all understood the young talent. We all see it. We see how young this team is. 2 things can be true. Like, it's just not this whole black and white, this way or that way. Like, multiple things can be going on at the same time. Auburn can be playing young guys, can be super young, and there can also be bad coaching going on, not putting the team in position to win. And I think that every Auburn fan is just sick and tired of having offensive-minded head coaches and the defense being the only thing in the program worth a damn. It's really frustrating, and I think that it's kind of at the point where it's like, do we just need to appoint a defensive guy, the head coach, and then get an offensive-minded guy who can solely focus on fixing the offense and not have to be the CEO of the whole program and fix the offense? Like, I don't know, but yeah, man, it's the same thing on repeat. We're on our third different coach now, where it's the same thing over and over. It's just maddening.
It seems that way. Dustin, it seems like look at Texas A&M. They had a string of offensive-minded head coaches, and you bring in Elko, who's been with the program before as a coordinator, defensive-minded guy. The offense looks like it's on the uptick in year one with a defensive-minded head coach. So maybe that's the approach. Who knows? But again, Hugh Freeze is still the coach, and I don't see anything changing going into next year. He has time to fix this. How he fixes it, I don't know. Really don't know at this point. I hope he knows, but I'm not sure if he does at this point, gentlemen. A. Francis Carr says, what happened to Hunter? I chatted Mike G and Ike, and if no one asks that question in the post game, hopefully Mike G will. Critical possession down at the end of the end zone, or our backs to the end zone. I did not see Jarquez Hunter. No disrespect to Damari Alston, but if you're trying to run out of your end zone to get some field, you need to see your guy. You need to see the SEC's leading rusher. We did not see him on that possession. Don't know if it was an undisclosed injury situation or what. Did not see Jarquez Hunter. Jamal Pye says the next head coach will be the coach we are actually looking for after he inherits Hughes recruits, talent or not. Hughes on-field coaching is terrible. I think that's Mike G just jumping on. Are you ready, Mike, or you need me to give you a minute?
Oh, did I just jump in? I didn't mean to jump in.
Yes, you did. I'll give you a second.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You guys got
okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let me get you situated here. All right. So obviously we had a short press conference, Mike. What can you tell us? Can you hear me?
Look, man, it was just a bunch. Yeah, can you hear me?
You're kind of low, but go ahead.
It was just a bunch of.
Uh-oh. Mike, I'm gonna take you off screen real quick. You froze up on me and I can't hear you. So pop out and hop back in. All right, gentlemen, let's get back to some of the comments here. Darius Lee became a member. Welcome. Big homie Lander with the $5 super chat says, I don't care anymore. First time I turned an Auburn game off early. Also, see what optimism gets you. Ouch. Yeah. Lately, optimism has not worked out well for the Auburn family. Danny Fuego says, a boo-boo QB and kicker. Shaking my head. Pain.
Yeah, the kicker thing, man. The kicker thing.
Now?
So the kicker thing is what's tough. We're used to boo-boo quarterback play, but man, this field goal kicking thing is just another level. We've had bad years, Caesar, but to me, this is the most frustrating Auburn team I've ever had to watch every Saturday.
That's saying a lot. Seems that we've had some really frustrating Auburn teams over the past decade or so. This one is very competitive.
Well, at least the other 3-9 team in 2012 was like getting blown out.
Right, they just sucked. Yeah,
it's like they were bad all the way through. But this team, shows that they can be good. Yeah. They just choose not to be good.
It's crazy.
TJ Lou says, hey, guys, I took Vandy on the money line because that Kentucky win didn't sway me. The offense changed, outgained Vandy, and lost again. Also, Peyton Thorne can't throw. This just in.
Well, it's like whenever
TJ.
You saw his shoulder. He kept going to his shoulder the entire time, and then they kept calling passing plays. If he's already struggling to pass the ball with a healthy shoulder, why are you giving him the opportunity to throw it with a dinged up shoulder?
I don't know. Mike, give me the thumbs up when you're ready. He says he's ready. I'm bringing him in. All right, Mike.
Behind me is the Vandy bench, where they absolutely did nothing and then somehow won this game. Look, the post-game, guys, was a lot of the same. There's nothing more to ask this coach. about why we're seeing the results we're seeing. I heard somebody mention the shoulder. He was asked about that during the postgame. Peyton said he was good to go. So they trusted Peyton that his shoulder was good to go. And then he was also asked about Jarquez and him getting only 12 carries here. That answer was just, I thought that Vandy did a good job, right? And their bear front or whatever. Guys, I don't, there's nothing more to say about this team offensively. They stink. They stink offensively. This is not a good product. You got way too much talent for this to be what it looks like. And I think that Hugh Freeze is going to have a really hard time motivating this team over the last 3 games. You know, to make a bowl game, they got to win out. And that would include beating Alabama and Texas A&M in back-to-back weeks.
And ULM, don't sleep on the Warhawks.
Mike, this was the type of situation for an offense that's trying to get on track. You want your defense to play how Auburn played today. You held Vandy to 227 yards of total offense. Diego Pavia wasn't all. I mean, he threw 2 scores. He had 2 scores. He's credited for 2 scores, but 9 of 22, 143 yards. Wasn't even their leading rusher in this game. The defense did his job, which highlights and makes it even more frustrating as to what we saw out of this offense.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is you guys remember how good that 2019 defense was?
Yes.
This defense is pacing ahead of that defense in terms of points per game allowed and total yardage.
Insane.
That's how bad losing. And that team finished 9-4, and they lost to Georgia, Florida, and national champion LSU by an average of 7 points. So I know everybody remembers the offensive struggles from 2019. But this is a whole new level of bad because that team found 9 wins with the kind of defensive production we're seeing here from Auburn this year. This is not. I mean, like I said, if you're a fan and you're checked out, I get it. I would ask that you hang in there. But if you're not, I understand it. This is the first time I've come to a post game completely exasperated. Like that post game press conference was. I honestly, in all our time doing this, I've never not known what to ask a coach after a game. I don't know what to ask him. We're seeing the same thing, so we're asking the same questions week after week.
Yeah.
Except for, hey, is there a call out there maybe that you wanted back? They called a timeout with 2:01 left. 2:01, guys. Don't let it run to the 2-man. Let's call a timeout at 2:01. He said that was a bad decision. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, there were just a lot of bad decisions today, I think, offensively. I did ask him, hey, any plans maybe to reassess how you guys are calling plays? No, I just think we got to go back to the drawing board. All right. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. I know you guys were looking for a more detailed analysis on this. There's not. I'll give my thoughts on the weekend tailgate, but War Eagle, guys.
Thanks, Mike. We'll see you on tomorrow. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel him, right? It's a lot of what I said. It's just what more do you have to say? You know, it's again, I've used this analogy 15 times. It feels like, but we've seen the movie. Guess what? It ended the same. It ended the same as the last time we popped it in the DVD player and watched it. It ended the same. Are you surprised it ended the same? Like
I think what's frustrating, gentlemen, and Dustin, is the Auburn fan in us is grasping for hope. You already know what you're dealing with in terms of a team, but when you see something different, it's something you grasp and hold on hope to. Okay, you brought in a top 10 recruiting class. Okay, things are on the uptick. You did good in the portal. Maybe Auburn can do some things here. Then Cal happens. Okay. Then there's a QB change. All right. You hit the reset button in terms of hope. have a good game there. Granted, it's New Mexico, not a good opponent. Here comes Arkansas. Not a good game. Peyton's the starter. Okay, what do we hold on hope to? Auburn is leading against Oklahoma, decides to give the game away through inept decisions. And you're like, okay, this team is close, right? That's what I've been hearing from several people who cover Auburn's close. And they're close. That's what made Missouri loss very frustrating. You were close. Then comes Kentucky. Maybe they found something. Yes, we know Kentucky's bad. Maybe they have found something and they can build off of that. And it just doesn't seem as though Auburn can really build anything this year after today. It's obvious. Yes, Vandy is a different team, a better team. But this is in the long list of games that were winnable for Auburn that Auburn somehow finds a way to lose. And it's starting to become a pattern of hopelessness to where this team appears to be hopeless. Because when you grasp for hope, Vandy happens. You grasp for hope, Missouri happens. If you grasp for hope, Oklahoma happens. And at some point, for the sake of your mental health, you stop grasping.
Yeah, none of the narratives that keep getting floated out every week, they all kind of get shot down the next week, right? Like for a while, and it's funny to me that they still do this on the broadcast. They're still like, if Auburn quits turning the ball over, turnovers haven't been a problem for a month. Like, I'm not saying we play clean and we play perfect, but they're acting like we're still out here turning the ball over 4 or 5 times a game. We're not.
Yeah.
That problem got, I wouldn't say eliminated, but it definitely has gone down significantly. Then it was the whole, okay, well, Auburn's just got to win a close one. Auburn's just got to win a close one and figure out how to win. And then they make the 4th down stop, the 4th and goal stop versus Kentucky. And it's, okay, they stood up. They found out how to do it. And then they come right back home this week and do the same thing again. I mean, we just lost a football game in 2024 where the opposing quarterback went multiple quarters without completing a pass. How do you do that? How do you pull that off in Jordan-Hare Stadium? And I got to get off of here, but listen, this is the final thing I'll say. I don't want to hear about Jordan-Hare magic anymore. I don't want to hear it. It's a house of horrors. We suck ass at home. We're so bad at home. We're so bad. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. They need to go. They emailed me on Wednesday. Hey, there's still tickets available to the Vanderbilt game. You want to come? No, I don't want to come. I sold them. I'm not coming up there for that. I can watch you lose on my couch. Nah, bro. It's bad. It's bad. It's frustrating. There's no excuse for what we're seeing. Some of these losses, sure. Like the Oklahoma game, okay. The Arkansas game, okay, like some of them. But when you compile all of them, Cal, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, this one, like, man, it's just ridiculous. It's pathetic. There's zero excuses for it whatsoever. And Auburn's inability to protect Jordan-Hare Stadium, that needs to get fixed, because to me, it's just completely unacceptable, dude. It's completely unacceptable. And they like to talk about how Auburn fans are the best in the world and blah, 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 blah. And then you haven't played a home game in a month. And that's it. That's the performance. That's the performance that you drop on the Auburn fans today, who show up, look on their tickets. Oh, man, I got to wear orange in my section today. I got to wear blue in my section. You ask us what to wear. We do it. You show up, cheer our asses off, and that's the get back. And it's old, Caesar. It's old, man. And I just feel really bad for a fan base that deserves a whole lot better. And I like Mike G, I've ran out of things to say about it. I said it weeks ago, I'm done with the details. I don't care about breaking it down anymore. I don't care about watching the film anymore and going and saying, okay, this happened here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you got to find ways to win football games, and this team's allergic to it. They're allergic to it. And the one they do go get on a Saturday night at Kroger Field. But doing it in front of their fans, impossible for them. It's absolutely impossible for them to make a play at home. And it's sad. It's just sad, and I don't have nothing else to say about it. Really, really frustrated, really pissed off, guys.
Are going live? Is the Uptempo Pod going live tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow, probably 9:00 in the morning. If not, then follow me on Twitter. My ass right there, and I'll let you know. But most likely at 9:00 in the morning.
Appreciate you joining us, Dustin.
Yeah,
Dylan, I
yes,
think
sir.
you're about to get out of here too, right? Any final words?
I think you're looking at Tanya Burns being the guy they're probably going to kick off at the end of the year. Too many special teams penalties this year. I think you get a bye week this week, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is the bye week.
Yeah.
Take this 2 weeks, spend all 2 of them looking in the mirror at yourself, trying to figure out what is your issue, because
There's more than one.
More than one.
There's more. You said what's your issue? There's more than one
Oh,
issue.
there's more than one. You got to find them all. The defense gets a pass for this game. Diego Pavia was 9 of 22 today, but you got to look at these 2 weeks. You got to find something wrong with your team, and I mean, it's not going to be hard to find those. Hugh Freeze is going to keep his job, but I mean, if you get 2-3 losses like you did this season, it's over. You're back to square one, and after the end of this year with how it's been, I hope you got enough money to keep some of these guys on the team.
Yeah. Dylan, are y'all what time are y'all going live tomorrow?
We go live tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Head over to the College Loop, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when they go live. Dylan, appreciate you being on with us, buddy. War Eagle.
War Eagle anyways.
All right, guys, let me get to some of your comments and we'll get out of here. Demario Noto says, I've done seen Pee Wee coaches call a game better. This man is Brian Harsin with better recruiting chops. An argument can be made. I mean, listen, Dylan said it today. He now has a worse record than Brian Harsin, who caught a lot of criticism and much of it deservedly so. But the hope was that hiring Hugh Freeze, we would see better decisions made on the field, and just have not seen that. Dwayne says, I'm done with our offense. I'm done. Our offense is lost. If it's QB, why not make the change? I've been on board, but something's off. We're losing our 25 class. I don't blame them, and Cam's probably gone. I hate this. Should we move on from Freeze? I don't think. Again, I don't know. I don't expect a change to be made at the end of this season on Freeze. I don't at this point. That could change depending on how these final 3 games play out. But I think Hugh Freeze is going to be given, at this point, I'm going to say that Hugh Freeze is going to be given a 3rd year, especially if he holds this recruiting class together. That's almost his leverage to stay on and see this through. Again, that can change depending on how Auburn finishes this season, but I don't expect the heat to turn up on him so much to where Auburn moves on from him after this season. I think he gets a 3rd one. Darius Lee says, time to be honest, Coach Hugh Freeze is either not a good coach or is not coaching well. Keep him on the recruiting staff and go get Caddy to be a head coach. Sad. Yeah. Chris O says, PT is hot dookie. I'll never forgive him for what he's done to the team I love. At this point, Chris, so again, your issues with Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne there's fair, valid critiques about Peyton Thorne, but at this point, if you're frustrated with Peyton Thorne's play, you gotta take a hard look at the guy who keeps putting Peyton Thorne out there. Peyton Thorne's not putting himself out there. He's not calling his own name. Hugh Freeze is doing that. Direct some of your frustration his way. Let's be fair about it. Frankie Free says, I've hung on long enough. Can't just recruit and abandon coaching. I'm officially off the Hugh train. And this is what's starting to happen with a lot of people is the morale is starting to lower. The apathy is setting in, and the goodwill that I think Hugh Freeze has built with a lot of recruiting momentum and a lot of enthusiasm and optimism and hope, that's gone now. And it's only more pressure for Hugh to put together a good offensive product next year, should he get that next year. But this is where a lot of people are starting to get to right now. What Frankie Freeze just posted. Appreciate the post, man, or the comment. Mike Davis with the $5 says, caught at the half. I'm off the Hugh Freeze train. Hugh Freeze just wants to prove he was right about Thorne. Only 7 points against Vandy at home. I feel you, Mike. I feel you. TJ Lou says, this may be the hit recruiting takes. I hope not. And again, that's the leverage. If the negative recruiting begins, if Hugh Freeze holds this recruiting class together, after the performance that we've seen out of the 2024 edition of the Auburn Tigers, it will be one of the most amazing recruiting classes ever assembled, because I don't know how you hang on to some of these guys, given how inept Auburn has looked offensively. The fact that not many people are scoring points, the recruiting class, you're seeing defensive guys on the defensive side of the ball. These freshmen come in and are making plays for Auburn. They're making plays for Auburn. You're looking at guys like Amaris Williams, Jay Crawford, DeMarcus Riddick, Caleb Harris. That's from the 2024 class. Pierre Thompson caught a pass a day. Cam caught a pass a day. But they're largely not being utilized based on the talent level that they have. It's hard to show guys, hey, we have a proof of concept on the offensive side of the ball. Auburn doesn't. How do you sustain recruiting classes if you're not showing that? You can't continue to keep talking about the future if in your present you look like the complete opposite. Mercy says, I believe it's time to get Hank some starting reps because we are not going to a bowl game. I'm curious to see what happens after the bye week if we do see changes. But at this point, you would have thought we've seen even more changes at this point, but we haven't. I'll be curious to see if they do make any adjustments, especially since it's looking like a bowl game is out of reach. Fire Free says the popularity of my name is on the rise. The question is, does Hugh want to be fired early for the buyout? I'm not sure if he wants to be here anymore. Who knows? Thompson says with the $5 says, yeah, F it, fire him. He's pants on the head. Yeah. Again, more people are slowly coming off of the Hugh Freeze train. Kenneth says it's time to see what we have in Brown and White to get something out of this season. Yeah. I'm not mad at, I don't know if it's time to see White, but Brown definitely, because I don't see how he stays around after what we've seen offensively out of Auburn. I don't know how he stays, especially with what's coming in. But with the season, with the bowl eligibility seemingly out of reach, why not give some other guys a shot? Thanks, Kenneth, for the super chat. Dwayne with the 499 says, why not QB change? At least give us a spark. I'm so upset. I want Freeze to win. Yeah. We all do. That's why we're here frustrated. King Tizzle says we 3-9 this year, then next year undefeated. I believe it. We need to suck before we be great again. Undefeated is saying a lot with a lot of questions on this roster. And it's tough going undefeated in this new SEC and new college football. But hey, one can hope. I'm not here to crush your dream. Believe, King Tizzle. Appreciate you being here, man. Mojo Nixon loves fried chicken. Our defense is as excellent as they are young. 3-and-out. Thorne only has 3 more games of eligibility. The future is bright. Now, that is an interesting, positive way of looking at that. Appreciate the super chat. Robert with the super chat says, college football is a business. Coach Hugh Freeze makes multiple poor decisions. Staying with Peyton Thorne. Allowing, I mentioned, TM, I'm drawing a blank as to who TM is, continue to embarrass himself, etc. Towns McGo, just got it. Continue to embarrass himself, etc. And Coach Hugh Freeze said he doesn't know how to fix it. Coach Hugh Freeze should be let go. It's obvious he doesn't know how to fix it, Robert. And I feel bad for Towns Magoo. I really do. I hate it for that kid. I don't know how you get your confidence back. It seems all but shot at this point. D-Lee92 says Freeze can recruit but can't coach. Think he's past his prime. Talent is being leveled across the board. Don't want to hear excuses about talent. Just coach the guys you recruited the last 2 years, or just coach the guys on your roster. That's what Vandy's doing. That's what Vandy's doing. They're just coaching the guys that they have. I just want him to coach who he has. Seems like a lot to ask. Rude Boy TV says we are cursed by the Harsin firing. We need to apologize to get the hex off of us. That's funny. That's funny there. Yeah, I'm just curious where Auburn goes from here. But Alan Berry says Vanderbilt hasn't beaten both Alabama and Auburn since the 1950s. These are crazy times indeed, Alan. Thanks for the super chat. Rick Cazenave says how Coach Hugh Freeze decides best chance to win. Peyton Thorne 2-minute drill at midfield. What is more important, a 10-yard scramble or 15 seconds? Peyton Thorne 10 yards. Coach Hugh Freeze, guess again. Peyton Thorne 15 seconds. Coach Hugh Freeze, great best chance to win. Dealing with coaching decisions here in the game. Doug Dozier says Falk penalty is coaching. How does that happen? Yeah. The difference between 17-7 and 13-7, where you score a touchdown, you essentially take the lead back. But that's coaching. Again, situational awareness, understanding the situation, understanding you're probably not going to block that field goal. Let's not get a penalty and extend the drive. You need to get off the field. That was all. Vandy already had milked off almost 8 minutes prior to that penalty. Bad decision on Falk. And by the way, I hope he's okay. Philip Coleman says if y'all want to pad your accounts and not worry about having to do a good job coaching, playing a bad QB, waste a good defense, come to Auburn. Mario Neto says we're on that fast and furious stretch of coaches, bigger names and all, but the same crap all over again. Appreciate you being here with us, DeMario, and that's why I'm hesitant for people calling for Hugh Freeze to be fired. That's 2 coaches gone in 4 seasons. That's insane. You kind of would hope that wouldn't happen. Just because you want to show coaches you're willing. It's a catch-22. You want to win, but you also want to be fair to your coaches. And the situation with Harsin was a mess. Hugh Freeze was brought in under a better circumstance, a better situation, and he just hasn't performed. He got the vote of confidence from the AD a few weeks ago. Does that change? I don't think it changed at the end of this season, but going into next season, Hugh Freeze is firmly, in my opinion, on the hot seat. Bert says, hey, power to you all. Power to you for still talking about this game. Love you guys. War Damn Eagle, back to you, Bert. Appreciate you. We got to talk about it. I got to watch it so that I can talk about it. It's rough, Bert. Pray for me. King Tizzle says 3-9 this year, then we're undefeated next year. I hope. Nothing wrong with hoping. Cost you nothing to hope. Did cost you $1.99 to post it, to comment that. So thank you, King Tizzle, for that. Keep the hope alive. Ronte says, play Walker. I don't want to hear you can damage a QB because he's damaging the program. Hey, that's a good way of looking at it. It's not like he hasn't damaged anything so far. Ben Bloodworth says 2 of 13 on third down with Hunter on your team is inexcusable. And I just think Ben, to your point, it just shows that you are unable to fix Auburn's passing attack because teams are lining up to try to stop Jarquez and stop the rushing attack, and Auburn cannot take advantage. Missed opportunities all over the field in the passing game. Again, if you look at Peyton Thorne's stats, 20 of 29, 239 yards and a score, you're thinking, hey, Peyton Thorne had an amazing game, but there are key moments in the game where Auburn needed to convert down the field. Granted, you called a few plays where Malcolm Simmons is running out of the backfield or running back is running out of the backfield, and you find a running back or those guys and hit them. But dropping back and throwing the ball downfield, first and foremost, if you get good protection, still can't complete a pass. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Blair Coker says, can Freeze turn things around if a new offensive staff is hired and Hugh gives up the headset? I'm going to be honest with you, Blair. I don't know how Auburn maintains the same coaching staff after this season. I don't know how you do that with how bad things have gone, especially offensively. I don't know how Hugh Freeze addresses that. So I expect some changes on that side of the ball, even though there were changes last year. I don't know. But y'all, I appreciate y'all being here with us, venting, expressing your frustration. Continue to share the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also find us on X and IG at The War Rapport. We're on TikTok at TW Rapport. We'll be back for more analysis as Ike and Mike will join us to give their thoughts as they've had time to think through on it. Appreciate you being here with us. Thanks for your support. And as always, War Eagle.